Alright, we have started. Can you guys hear us? You guys, well, we only have like,
Well, I can't. It's not started on my end.
well, there's like gonna be a delay or something. What is the delay again? It's like thinking about.
Probably 10 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. Can you guys hear us? Let me just do the playback. Obviously, it works myself. Yeah. Alright, so I guess we can start, but let us know how we sound. I'm pretty sure we are all in audio channel 1, so we should all be playing back. I haven't done this in a while. How do I even start this fucking shit? Hey guys, today...
Another episode of...
Exactly. Welcome back to another episode of Dragon Ball Z. I mean, that's not right. Welcome back to another discussion of the new content that is we are going to discuss. Joining me today are the usual friendos I've got. There is Irby, aka Lame Taker, aka Douchebags.
Rude.
I'm just...
I mean, I can't go by that name now since I've been abusing Golden Bursty and running out of creativity juice for challenge quest videos. Offensive. By just ignoring all the debuff mechanics.
I can't believe it, Irby. In your effort to be off meta, you've suddenly become on meta and boring with Golden Bursty and Tangaroa.
No. My worst nightmare.
Does anyone else really use them?
I actually did recommend Golden Bursty a few times because Irby did convincingly show Golden Bursty works strongly. And, you know, I've always known Tangaroa worked, just I didn't really like use him because he just works on the other direction of explosive. And also joining us today is Zalgus.
Hello.
And you can find
I don't have a name.
Zalgus, aka Solid Milk. You can find both Zalgus's and Irby's content in the description below. Irby's is his main channel and Zalgus's is a playlist. Hello, you should get to that. We believe in you, Zalgus.
Okay.
Yeah. One day, everyone will see your wonderful meme thumbnails. You shouldn't hide it from the world, Zalgus. It's truly a treasure to behold. Okay, so we... hello, Neos. Hello, Kingdom. We are going to be discussing the new ARs from the Treasure AR banner, as well as some skill evolutions from Volume 7. And with that, let's just jump right into it. You guys ready?
No.
Perfect.
Probably.
No, that's not the first one. Here we are. Ebisu. No, close your mouths. You can comment after. So Ebisu received a skill evolution. That is to say, his 4-star received a skill evolution for Hoster of Feasts. And it gave him some new abilities to receive to be able to heal allies that are adjacent after whenever he receives a buff at a 60% rate, as well as being able to bestow nourishment every start of turn to the slash range in front of him. So it seems like a fairly simple evolution, but I would say that after buff has proven time and time again to be quite a powerful activation condition, even if the activation rate doesn't seem super impressive. I would say he kind of has two primary formations. Nourishment in the front is pretty nice because it's just basically free to have a buff without even moving him. And, you know, there's a lot of cases where we try to look for one extra buff, damage buff on our team. And I guess Ebisu can now fill that role. And it's like at 80% rate or 90 if you decide to see him, which I know some of you have decided to see him. I don't really get it, but more power to you. The more interesting formation is putting units adjacent to him so that he can exploit his ability to heal whenever he's buffed, as well as the other skill effects that are also adjacent. And through that, he is able to heal it's kind of a small-ish amount, 300, but the key point is that you can buff units several times in a single turn, so the kind of ARs I would recommend for Ebisu now are ARs that can give him an additional buff. So all the ARs below the Triton Dagon one gives, I believe, reflect the debuff on phase start. The Toji one gives evasion phase start. The Osei one gives crit phase start, and Ebisu's gives spirit phase start. And as Thoughts gives on turn start every 5th turn glint, I believe. And those are, I mean, they're kind of neat bonuses, but they probably won't have too much of an effect because it's either only on phase start or like low activation rate or very sparsely spread between several turns. What's more important, I would think, is being able to pair him up with units that can give several defensive buffs, especially because I've mentioned this a number of times, but healing is pretty shit if you're going all offensive and not really investing in defense buffs. But healing in proportion becomes a lot stronger if you bank everything on defense instead, because if you're scaling all the damage down, then healing relative to that becomes larger. So that's why I would recommend units positioned directly in front of him, such as Horkei Okamui 5, or Valentine Vargas, or Marcosius 4 with their skill evolution, and those units provide a number of defense buffs, as well as can, especially for Horkei Okamui's case, can supplement that healing. And Horkei Okamui does like 3 different buffs every single time he either attacks or moves, and it's a mixture of vigor and nullify buff and tenacity, if I recall correctly. Maybe there's something more. Oh yeah, there's also a reflect debuff, so that's 4 different ones. That's quite a lot of activation chances. And as you know, Vargas as well as Marcosius has that I believe a protection chance as well as tenacity chance to units some range around them. I would also recommend Ifrit, even though he only provides 1 defensive buff, but it's because what was the reason for us? Do they have a relationship bonus? I think they have a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, that was probably the reason why I did it. Just because it's like in proportion, even though it's just gonna be like 1 or 2 defense, 2 buffs in general, one of them being offensive ardor. It becomes a lot more likely for him to actually activate that heal because of that relationship buff for Ifrit.
He has 3 buffs actually: concentration, ardor, and
Protection.
protection. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a decent amount. Yeah. So those are my thoughts on the skill evolution, pretty much. Anything from you guys?
You didn't even mention Triton.
Yeah. It would be pretty neat, but I think he's still pretty bad in my opinion, to be honest. Solely because of the fact that he's completely reliant on the allies to provide the buffs to him. He also, his primary function is also healing, but he seems to have a problem that he only has one ability that actually heals himself outside the blessing after receiving damage. So that's kind of bad in my opinion, because his after buff doesn't affect himself. His Hoster of Feasts also does not activate the self. Only the Rabbit Fisher ability heals himself, and that's just I think that's a missed opportunity. He doesn't gain advantage from the nourishment. I think it is still kind of a meh unit to use because of that. Because if you're going to pick a healer just to heal, you'd expect him to heal the entire party, but he does not do that because he can't do that to himself, which is kind of a shame. But
Yeah. That 60% proc rate is really a shame because if it was let's say if it were 100%, if you hit like 2 units, you could heal what number was it? Over 1,000 health or something. I didn't write it down apparently, and I can't believe I did math out right now. But you'd be able to heal quite a decent amount if it were actually a reliable rate. If you got 2 buffs from say like Triton, he gave evasion and protection, and you hit 2 units, and so you'd actually be able to heal quite a lot with nourishment as well. But it's just like the nourishment and the after buff part don't go together for one, because you can only benefit one ally, so that's not cool. And just like Obi said, he offers only healing and I guess the pulling, but there are so many units that pull these days that if you wanted to bring a healer, you would probably just bring someone who can actually apply defensive buffs as well, or offer something else besides decent healing to allies. Like if you wanted nourishment, there's plenty of other people who can offer it, like Choji, who can do it frequently and offer unction, Volos, who can give combo and regen, Jamboree, Kagutsuchi, who's a CB battery, etc., etc. So the nourishment isn't that unique, and just healing alone isn't really enough. And there are units who can pull are getting more and more common. So yeah.
I think another thing that's bad is that the nourishment isn't even 90%, it's 80%. So you're going to have to roll for that.
Yeah.
And that's going to be painful if it doesn't proc, and you have to arrange your units. You have to decide, should you keep them in that formation again to get another chance of nourishment, or should you get or should you position yourself to get the adjacent after buff? It's kind of like
So
well, it's every turn, and nourishment lasts for 3 turns. So once it's active, there's a bit of a buffer period. There's like it was pretty common from older status effects, skill effects for that sort of balance to happen, where longer lasting statuses and buffs would be compensated for a lower activation rate. So you'd only have to activate it like once, but as a result, it just would be harder to activate. It kind of makes sense to me. To start of turn 80% is pretty respectful, and you don't have to move him for it, unlike for other buffs, like, such as Gimao's Ardor, where at the same rate of 80%, you move him just for Ardor.
I don't know, I just feel like if I wanted a healer that had nourishment, I just probably choose Choji.
yeah, because that unction is really nice if he can get it off.
Isn't it like left and right of him?
It is, yes.
Yes.
So this might be conditionally better if you need someone positioned behind him rather than beside. So I thought the synergy between Hurricane and Kami was somewhat strong as a result. Obviously, he would benefit by having a frontliner that can both support him and increase their overall defense, as well as be somewhat offensive themselves. And Hurricane Kami is just that.
They could have at least made his nourishment apply to self so that he could, trigger his off the buff, but
Apparently not. Too powerful.
Honestly, for me, it's really that 60% rate. If it were 100%, I could see it being good because, then you could really pair him and expect to see him reliably help out with tanking. But
well, I mentioned this in passing to you, Zogs, but it could be just them balancing after the fact, after buff effects, since they've been very exploitable lately between Kasuga and even like all of the, in the opposite sense, the debuff side with Break and Golden Bursty, and then there's also Jamboree, Kagutsuchi, and they seem to be pretty strong because of how many in today's sort of a environment, how accessible putting a lot of buffs in a single turn is. So potentially, I only mentioned like for a single unit that would be good in front of Ebisu, but if you had like units also to the left and right of him that could bestow him several buffs, it could be pretty cheesy to trigger a lot of heals. But I didn't examine which specific units would be good for those side positions. It could work though.
Lianan.
Lianan would have to be behind, but yeah, it's...
You give him Glint.
Yeah, it could.
Wow. 90% for nourishment.
I mean, Lianan actually would be a good choice if you think about it, because it's like, usually you wouldn't want, what's it called? That's a good point, actually. Maybe I should mention that. But Lianan would be decent because unlike other units where, you'd be supporting Ebisu from the super back line, and that's usually a bad thing because that means you can't move the front unit at the same time, which they usually need to move. But with Lianan, you could reposition them as well as Ebisu because fucking omnidirectional movement is broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put Triton in front and Ebisu behind him, and then Lianan. Perfect.
I mean, that could be work, I guess.
Alright, but overall, it's right now it doesn't seem super powerful, but with the right setup, I believe the after buff part could be really cheesy, depending on what sort of setup you use. That pretty much concludes all our stats, I think. Is that so?
He could actually do decent damage with Fleet in Hand if he activated Crit Plus. I feel like they should have buffed his Crit Plus Plus instead.
He was never really meant to be a healer. I totally, from before the skill evolutions were actually declared, that I wanted the Ebisu's healing function to be buffed. And sadly, it's kind of paltry, but at least that's what they did. Okay, we're all good for this skill evolution?
Yeah, not much to say really. It's not great. It could have been great. Well, it could have been okay.
It could have been somewhat good.
But now it's just kind of blah.
Hey, just it'll only get stronger over time as more buffs can be bestowed in a single turn. With that said, I will just read the comments and then I will move on to the next skill evolution. Let's see. Hello, Gawi. I mean, it works with his mostly healing kit, but it's not real good. Also, the one buff he gives is one of the most common ones to bestow on allies.
Blessing. Or nourishment.
Blessing and nourishment are pretty common.
Yeah.
Nourishment is like modern common. It's like,
yeah. Blessing, you don't really see blessing that much anymore.
Yeah.
Like on new kits, but
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob had it.
he actually used it.
Isn't that just because he's a missionary?
Yes. I think
Tanatomo, let's go. Tanatomo and Yasuyori.
All the Hakenchi.
Oh damn! How good.
But yeah, nourishment has become a lot more common. We thought it was just a unique thing, but now they're just slapping on literally every skill evolution. I feel like nourishment is the new glint when it comes to skill evolutions. Just add it on and now it's evolved. Alright.
I guess healing's okay and an okay damage buff.
Yeah, it's alright. It's like 1.5, basically just a skill advantage or something. He is low cost, commonly 5-star. I don't know about that. Actually, no, that I disagree with that strongly, but he would work well with combi 5-star. On paper, he sounds decently good. I would say the opposite. On paper, he sounds pretty terrible. I had to look pretty hard to find all these finder points about how he could be good. Hello, Brian. Sorry, I am late working on lab report. I got accepted in the university nursing program. Very cool. Very cool. Let's wish him the best with that. University is pretty tough. Gali says, I would have increased with quick brought rate and maybe something else instead of this, but okay, go off, LifeWonders. Yeah, crit plus is...
Thanks.
I mean, they fucking... I wouldn't disagree with it because they just released Otohime, who has a crit plus basically a guaranteed rate every single time she attacks, which is stupid.
And also base attack.
Yeah, she has a high attack.
Yeah, she has
Unlike
like
Ebisu.
Yeah, so even if you gave a crit plus plus to Ebisu guaranteed, it's like it wouldn't even be that much stronger than Otohime's. It's just, but yeah, it's unfortunate, but I also see why they did. They were just sharpening what Ebisu's original purpose was, not retooling to become something else, which it could have. Yeah, Jamie does look cool. Can't deny that. Love Ebisu's. Hey, Klein. Love Ebisu's flush cute. Yeah, it's... I don't know why he has that, it's just weird. But I guess it's cute. I wish it was a match card.
Is it one of his sacred artifacts?
Yeah.
Or,
I haven't read the story yet. I'm planning to do that after this stream. Oh yeah, I probably should mention something again. Yeah, after the stream I'll be streaming the story for Unfurl the Sails. But yeah,
it says in his bio, it's his rod and his fish.
I can't believe he got a blow up doll for a sacred artifact.
How come you get two?
I think he has 3 actually, but that was what people were saying before. But I haven't read Make Sale either yet.
I will get to that soon.
Also, I like that Arashi made assets. I didn't.
You didn't what?
I didn't make assets.
Oh,
Same.
No one made assets except for me. It's fine. That's it. All right.
Not really that interesting.
They're not, but you know, I wanted to use this opportunity to update my templates, so they look nice now. All right, let us continue.
Cool background.
All right, Aegir. This is, I believe, Irby, or is it Salgus? It's Salgus.
What?
No, it's me.
I was
It's
doing
Irby?
Ifrit.
Oh, god damn it. Sorry, it's just like one of you is doing Ifrit 5-star, and then the other of you is doing Ifrit 5-star.
What?
Sorry, I mean, one of you is doing Aegir 5-star, and the other is also doing Aegir.
I am
5-star.
doing it. Aegir.
Alright. I mean, AR versus Skelosion. Alright, go ahead. Oh, by the way, I looked it up. The way you pronounce it, even though I mispronounced it just now, it's Aegir, apparently.
It's like Aegis or something.
Something like that, I guess.
Well, then you say Aegis.
Yeah, okay.
It's like based on the original pronunciation from the language, because if you look at English transliterations, they really say it as in every single way you could say it, from Eager to Aegir to Aegir to. So I just went with the original pronunciation of Aegir.
I think I'll go with Aegir.
I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Irby.
So Aegir got a skill evolution for his only for his 5-star of Undersea Celebrant. Previously, this skill applied after attacking Fear at 60%, but now it's actually when attacking Fear at 90%, which is really good because of the next buff he got, which is double damage against Fear, which this helps him dish out a lot more damage than before. Since it's basically he basically has at least 2 attack buffs whenever he attacks, assuming the Fear procs, because skill bait 90%.
Fuck you, 90%.
He also got a new form of stealing buffs from the enemy, which is a turn 2 only triggerable ability. It only triggers on turn 2 of every phase, and basically what it does, it steals the buff it steals 1 buff from the units in a 3v3 formation in front of him at 90%, which is really good in my opinion, because it's not amazing, but if we had to choose a turn to steal buffs from, turn 2 is probably the best, but is probably the best turn to steal it from, because it's when it's after that units trigger their phase start abilities, and there's a lot of phase start abilities that grant many different buffs, and Aegir can just take advantage of that on the second turn and just take them for himself.
Yeah, just to clarify with everyone, when it says phase start, I'm sure most of you know this by now, but just for those who don't, player phase start is on when you begin the phase, but that is not the same as enemy phase start. Enemy phase start is after your first turn, so that's why there's a lot of defensive buffs that work for you on first turn, but don't really work for the enemy. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, that's really good, because there are abilities that have, for instance, phase start crit or phase start crit plus from Hogan. You can actually steal that for the second turn for himself to deal a lot of damage. I've seen that happening a lot of times when farming the current rerun event, where he just steals the crit plus from a merman. It isn't actually a phase start buff, but he actually steals usually the gangly defense up buff, which I guess it could be neat in different situations. It's buff steal. It's whatever. He also gained a heal whenever he attacks, 400 at 80%, which is all right. He already has a really potent heal on his TS, so I guess they really wanted to get him to heal. I think this skill evolution is probably the best of the batch, because it turned a terrible unit into a usable one. in my opinion.
Yeah, Aegir was always something a lot of people in the Discord channel, Discord server always, and people always shat on his regular kit and laughed at it, especially at one point in comparison with his Christmas variant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is pretty neat. ARs that I would recommend using on him. I actually don't have any specific ARs to recommend for him, but you could probably use the City of Drifters one to give him some evasion and take advantage of that heal during one turn if it procs, I guess. Since he has a lot of constant healing, you can also probably use the Gunzo AR to give him an additional heals whenever he attacks.
Is there a fear advantage AR that he can use?
Not that he could use
I
now.
don't think so.
There's only one fear advantage AR. That's the one, the Shiro
it's the
one.
Niarl one.
And that's like magic
What?
range or something. Plus Shiro.
No, the Niarl one also has fear advantage now.
Oh, does it? Well.
I think it does,
I'm
but he
not
can't
sure.
equip it anyways.
Okay.
So it doesn't.
Yeah, the Njal Avathoth one and the Yogg Shiro one, except those are both magic shot snipe. No,
Yeah,
and Shiro.
He can't equip any of them. I think he's a pretty all-rounder unit that can deal decent damage. He still has that his gimmick of pushing enemies forward and keeping them in place is not more reliable, I guess. But I don't really see a lot of use for that. But maybe some people can.
I like being able to push you. I've been using that for all the challenge quests actually for the past virtual summer memory event. Of course,
I think my main issue with it is the
how they move forward.
Thrust range. Is my issue at least.
Yeah, the thrust range is kind of sad.
Yeah, thrust range will forever be terrible, even when this fucking. I wish they would make a skill kit that would work around those thrust range rather than always being good despite it. This doesn't help that at all, really.
Yeah, it kind of makes his heal not that great. It's only 800 if he were to hit two things, and he can't really abuse his push fear as well as he could. But yeah, but I think this Evo is, yeah, I agree, it's probably the best of the batch. It took his crap fear and made it actually reliable, and it made his damage actually decent. I have the numbers right here. With only attack up, he would deal 6,349, 43, and now that he can deal 2 times damage, is 12,687, which is pretty good if he has fear and attack up. So yeah, I think that's good. I don't really have much to say other than it's just generically more damage, and fear is good.
If there's one thing that a decent stress units can do, it's deal strong damage, and Aegir is finally a unit that can do that with essentially a permanent crit, having both fear advantage and attack up at the ready. I will say that he also has some interesting synergy with a growing list of units that are more effective for phase 2 onwards rather than phase 1, such as what's his face, Daisuke. I mean, Taurus Mask, as well as Ikutoshi with their skill evolutions, and of course there are units that just rely on getting hit as well. So I would say if you want, it might be neat if you paired him up with units like that, since his strong buff steal is reliant on you reaching phase 2. Turn 2 of each phase. But yeah, those are pretty much my thoughts on it, I think.
I guess you can equip you can equip the Toji AR if you want to survive the first turn with him.
Oh, is it the evasion phase?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good call that you mentioned. That would perfectly bring everyone there. But
good, actually.
But yeah, at that point you would be designing a team around moving past turn 1. So yeah, this is kind of a tangent, but this is why, functionally speaking, not all turns are made equal. Turn 1 and turn 2 are pretty important to consider, because turn 1 it's the turn that is infamous for blowing the enemy up before they can even attack you back, and turn 2 is the turn where it's the earliest turn you can actually take advantage of skills that take effect when you're struck. So those are the first 2 turns are usually the ones you want to consider the most. Hooray for turn 2 strategies, I guess. All right, are we all clear with this unit? Anything else?
Yeah. I think that's it.
All right. Then we shall move on. You ready?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I can read the comments, I guess.
All right, thank you.
I don't remember where we were, but story spoilers. It's about expectations.
Why
I
are
think
you
that's as
spoiling it?
well.
Cease your spoilers. I haven't read it yet.
Don't spoil it. His Japanese name is Aegir. We're going with that. Okay. We went with Aegir, I guess, or Aegir, whatever
Aegir.
you want to call him. I like Aegir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Aegir or Aegir.
I like Aegir, but I gotta be accurate. It's it's like we could call Neza, but it's really Najar. So you gotta research this stuff.
Who says never? Give them a punch.
Well, that is how it's spelled, right? All right, continue.
Give this man your seed.
Don't worry, a lot of people have already done so.
Yeah, well, a lot of people have already done it, so you don't need to.
Isn't that for Christmas more?
Pretty much, but chances are they pulled on this banner. That sweet old Feared, so delicious. I guess it's only thrust range, but Fear is pretty good. His steel buff ability is basically Daikoku 5's thing, but kind of worse. Well, it's more accurate, but aside from that, yeah, it's a bit worse.
It's like a higher rate at least.
It's what I said. It's more accurate, but aside from that, it's worse because Daikoku's is actually everyone, and it's every 2 turns instead of just the second turn, so it can actually proc on the first turn of a phase, which can be named if it's needed. It's hello. It's
Hello, Azakar.
I don't. It's basically guaranteed, but it's still only on the second turn, while Daikoku does it on the second, fourth, sixth. Yeah, that's what he said. The whole match on the board. God, Aegir's Christmas variant is redonkulous. Yes, it is. And that's pretty much it. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Jackie. Let's continue on with the third unit. Thanks for reading the comments, Derby. We will leave it to Zalgus.
Hello.
So, Zalgus, if you will.
Okay. I can't tell if the screen has changed yet.
It has changed. I'm not in comments, so
Okay, there we go. The bloody stream is so far behind. Right, so Ifrit got a skill evo that it's alright, I guess. So they increased the proc rate of his Ardor, which kind of an awkward number still. It used to be 64, now it's 84. I don't know. It's not even like skill seed bait at that point. It's like because you can't get it to 100 unless you have something from someone else. But either way, that's really nice to have because 20% more proc rate on an attack buff is always good. The real meat of the skill evo is that when Ifrit hits someone, he will apply burn to them and the slash range row behind them. He will also apply at the same time conflagration, which used to be known as Ember for anyone not in the know like me. So what conflagration does is when a enemy is burned, any unit that hits that conflagrated enemy will deal 3,000 flat damage extra. This is added to the actual attack, so it can actually the damage from conflagration can actually kill. This skill evo it's not that bad. It's kind of held back by the fact that Ifrit is blow range, so even though it's got a pretty good spread, he has to. I mean, he'll probably be up front anyway to spread protection and whatnot, but it can be kind of hard or awkward to aim with because he's blow. Enemies won't always be positioned as you want them, but it pretty much just helps him with what he's always been, a damage buffer. He's always had concentration and ardor, so having 3,000 more flat damage was always nice for him. But no, I don't really have much to say about this, to be honest.
Really? I would actually say that I think this skill evolution is actually better than Aegir's. I know both of you think Aegir's is better, but for me, I see myself using Ifrit's ability in challenge quests more than Aegir's. Aegir's is just pretty much more damage, and if I wanted fear, then I'd probably just use like Yumao for the entire board or something. And if I wanted buff steal, I'd probably use the Daikaku. So
if you can get Ifrit to actually punch things, then
unlike Katatomo, it's you don't have to move to inflict conflagration, so it's a 2-for-1 package there. You just hit them, and then you can now deal 3,000 damage to them after for each time you hit them. Sorry,
I still don't think it's really that great, to be honest. Mostly because, if you want extra damage, just use Lianan.
Yeah.
hey, Irby. You know that flat damage meta is thing. You've been praising it yourself, right?
It's gonna be about that flat damage meta. And he can equip the flat damage AR too.
Oh yeah,
That's not a good card on him, I think. The thing is, he can help others inflict more flat damage, but he's only blow range 1. And 2, it's after attacking, so he's not gonna get this 3,000 for himself.
Yeah, that's a shame. Oh yeah, another thing is that the burn and the conflagration are packaged in the same proc rate, so they will always be together.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's neat. It's
unless there's some shenanigans with after one runs out and you don't proc it until one has one turn left. But practically speaking, you'll pretty much always have them together.
Yeah, so I'm anticipating that what's it called? There will be more challenge quests where they will use that special buff that was used in the second phase of the most recent Ritual Summer Memory Challenge quest set.
The second one?
AKA Nullify damage, that just brings all scaling damage to 0. However, it does not get rid of flat damage that's added to the attack damage, such as from Conflagration or Spirit. And
the time I killed someone with Spirit, that was great.
Yeah, so that has a lot of potential for it.
It's great.
Nullify damage, yeah. Well, that's when we'll see metas such as Conflagration showing up more often. You're really gonna.
I still think it that is better for the meme, just only because of the meme.
He can't kill though if they have nullified damage. You need at least Spirit or Conflagration.
But it can reduce him to 1, and you can get Spirit from anyone.
Even an AR.
Most of them are
yes, even an AR.
A lot of them are surprisingly only on phase start though. The only one that can consistently really give it promote I saw is maybe Echo on Miss, which is she's as well as Baron. Isn't
Gangly also has it on start of turn, I believe.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I guess.
I forget if Christmas Taurus Mask can do it. I only remember that he had Spirit, and that was a major point.
He can do it, but it's on move, I think.
Also, we already talked about how Dead on average reduces 4,000 HP every turn, since it's 8,000 every 2 turns. So if you even hit a unit twice with Conflagration, that's already more effective than what Dead does.
Yes, but that's a really small range.
Yeah, I hate it's really the blow that kind of ruins it for me.
It depends on the situation, I think. If they're far away and there's a whole bunch of mobs, then yes, Dead would obviously be only useful. But if it's singular enemies you have to worry about, or only a handful, then I think that would be when Ifrit can shine.
He was already kind of a good unit anyway, so I'm kind of not surprised that.
Attack buffs and
yeah, overall I'm very happy about this skill evolution. It definitely is does not increase his original functionality at all, but this new functionality is very neat, I think.
They made the order better.
Yeah, it did increase his functionality.
Yeah, I guess. I was actually using his skill evolution when I just started Job Quest, and I didn't read the skill evolutions too carefully yet, so I was like, wow, was he always this consistent? Nah, it's just that order increase is very noticeable once you actually put it into practice.
If you ask me, he doesn't feel consistent at all, still. I keep missing both buffs.
He's more consistent now. It was worse before. I can attest to that because I used him a lot.
Yeah. I'm just getting unlucky.
Yeah, I move him maybe 5 of every 6 turns out of every 6 turns in a single drop quest. So it's you'll notice it quickly enough. He's not.
I mean, if I'm lucky, I'll 3-turn the 3 phases for the toll quest, because if he just needs to give concentration and ardor, or Typhon needs to trigger charm. But
I don't have Typhon.
well, whose fault is that?
I pulled for every single time this banner released. Okay, how dare you? Whatever. All right, let's we're done with these solutions. All right, so just please go ahead and read the comments.
Where is it? Hey everyone. I imagine that when they apply fear, they do a stare like Sasuke performing Amaterasu. Okay, I can see that happening. Ifrit's skill Evo makes me on him a lot. We love the flat damage meta. Do we?
Yes.
Abby does.
What, are we spreading the new propaganda to replace the all charge meta?
I rarely use 4 stars or more. I mainly use 3 stars in my team. Good. But I am planning on adding some in my team later.
Well, good. What?
Not good. Hey, you know what? Hey, you know the videos I usually do.
Alright, Mr. Big Brain.
Ifrit's skill buff makes him more manageable as a support buff. I put him behind Ban. Typhon makes the latter, especially with the farm quest. Since I have my own Ban Typhon, if I have him ban Ifrit buff the 2, I can clear it really quickly. If he actually procs his buff.
Yes.
I have failed numerous times. Gangly is actually super annoying if I don't kill him on the first turn, because then he gets defense up, and if he moves, he gets tenacity, and then I can't kill him for like another turn.
Just use Aegir support.
Yeah, Aegir is like strong enough to eliminate him by himself.
Yeah, but then I have less range overall. It means I can't. Well, I guess unless
you only
I have.
on him right side, right? And
I guess I can just swap them around, but then it'd be less reliable because I would need Ifrit to spawn in the middle all the time.
I think my biggest issue with that is the Nether Merman always procs crit plus, and
kills him.
I have to be careful because you can actually one-shot ban Ifrit if he survives.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. For that merman, I just have Aegir there, and like he steals that crit. I'm like, fuck you after he crits it, you know.
Yes.
It's like unnecessary damage, but it's a sweet retribution. All right, keep on reading.
Makes me want to use Ifrit more. Or more in front rather.
Yeah.
In front. Oh, the conflagration ban. Yeah.
Before that, I used him as an unrange, keeping him wherever.
Yeah. I mean, he always had the protect. I actually completely forgot that he had the protection to self and allies after being hit. Because I never used him for that. And when he had it in the
his
CQ, I was like, did he always have that? And yes, he did.
Yeah, his defensive function is a bit weird. 2 defensive effects when he gets struck. One being that, and the other being charge skill lock.
Charge skill lock.
Yeah.
I think. Making blow units miss on purpose. Takemaro vibes.
I think
Ifrit missed what?
I guess that's a reference to just using Ifrit as a buff bot.
I don't know. Whatever. Can't wait for Ifrit to get weapon change to use that burn spread bear. Well, it's still pretty hard to give other people weapon change, but that would be good.
We're still waiting for regular Ifrit to receive his collection. Have you seen this yet? Ugh.
I don't remember what it is besides him CS locking himself.
I've seen Motasumi's kit though.
Child. Plus.
Guaranteed blessing on face start. Wow.
Also, range issue. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
It's not amazing.
What? No.
I just said amazing.
Alright. Also, range issues with blow units. Call Hombre, amigo. Yes, call him. Always call him. I don't think that weapon change is happening anytime soon, but dreaming is free. Yeah, you can pretty much currently only spread it with a very limited number of units, like if you steal it with Goemon from the enemy.
Yeah, we're not gonna be exploiting something like that anytime soon.
It was fun. It's fun seeing Heracles with all range.
Yeah.
You can steal it with Daikoku and then steal it with Oniwaka, so Oniwaka can be one range.
Oh, great.
That's too.
wait for the ARs and event nets to bring forth the weapon change. I highly doubt they're going to put on an AR because that would make it fairly accessible.
It might be a 5-star AR. It could happen, but it would be like extremely restrictive of who you can equip it on.
Yeah.
They might equip it on like a fucking non-range unit. That would be so stupid.
Cost AR when
Non-range unit. Huh? I mean, I wouldn't mind having that on what's her face.
Astarte. Yeah, I guess so. All right, let's just move on. What? So we are done talking about the skill-specific evolutions for this particular volume. We will now be talking about the ARs that were released in concurrency with this event. Starting with Celebration Live, the Benten Ebisu card. This card gives a spirit as well as the ability to bestow CP to the adjacent units to them every phase start. And this is guaranteed, so you don't need any extra copies for that. So I will just move on to the side here to summarize. The two things here you kind of want to use for separate things, although unfortunately the chat is covering it, so you can't really see it. God damn it. But essentially,
poor planning.
I mean, there's not much room to be put in anyways. The chat has to go somewhere. So the first feature is being able to have guaranteed flat damage from Spirit, which, you know, it's not much, but since it's not much, I would always suggest, if it's something small, add it to a unit that already excels in doing it, and just give them that extra move. So I would recommend equipping it for the flat damage purpose onto units such as Guillemot or Suzuka or Fenrir, who all have flat damage abilities with a skill evolution from Suzuka. Actually, they all have it in their base abilities, I believe, to some extent. But
yeah, but then you'd have to use Banned Fenrir.
Banned Fenrir is actually...
Banned Fenrir is bad Fenrir.
He's my favorite cursor, to be honest. He can do it at a pretty wide range, and I don't know. That's my emotion. That's all I can say, guys.
I was gonna say that.
I think he's good at what he does.
It's just his skill evo is the bind reversal part's so stupid.
Yeah, the curse though is really nice, I think.
Yeah, I tried to exploit bind reversal on the challenge quest with Benten, but yeah, he still does shit, damn it.
Yeah. They might want to revisit that again. But yeah, more interestingly, I guess, or rather more general in usage, is the ability to become a better CP battery. So again, I would say apply it on a unit that is already a CP battery of sorts, just to give them that extra oomph. And this is actually just the third AR, the third AR to bestow CP on phase start to adjacent allies rather than itself. The first one being the 5-star Shiro card, the second one being the 4-star Sun and Oil Tangaroa and Kurogane AR, and now we have this Benten card that can do it as a 3-star. So it's very small, only 5 CP, 10 depending on how many dupes you have, so pretty much just 5 CP. But nonetheless, there are a good catalog of units you could equip it to, and they would increase in ranks. And I would say Baran is an obvious option because he already gives a shitload of CP on phase start from turn start ability and phase start ability, and it works out well for him. The spear is, I think, a bit redundant, but it's whatever. And,
well, you can't use it anyway.
Yeah, well, I guess on his charge. Remember that flat damage effects can still stack onto the charge damage too, which is like whatever.
You would need to charge in 3 turns into their face.
Okay, let's just pretend that part doesn't exist for this purpose. So yeah, it would help him become a better CP battery. Interesting enough, this would also work well with Otahime, who is a CP battery when you decide to move her, and she'll probably be behind someone.
Otahime.
Sorry, I mean, she's Lian and Chi. I erased her name from my head. She who shall not be named. Lian and Chi. Even though everyone thinks of her as a damage buffer, she's actually quite a potent CP battery as well. It's like a 37, if I recall correctly, to the unit she moves behind, from arousal and then some like actual on move CP and
arousal, order, and the on move.
Yeah.
Or on move.
So yeah, it's not super remarkable on her, but It's remarkable in the sense that there were no other good ARs on her before. So this one works well for her, and she's already strong in it. So I would say this is probably the best AR for her. Not that it would do much, but it would do a bit at least. So the next unit I would also say is Melusine, which she has a better ruler skill with her skill evolution anyway, so she can kind of act like a discount elite in that sense, being able to have the face start effect of giving a crap load of CP. 5 CP is, it adds up over time. And then...
It's isn't it 23 or something? Melusine. I forget what Melusine things.
Melusine is 16, but it's also guaranteed.
21 then.
Yeah, 21. So it's all right. It ate. Still not quite as good as leaks, but it ate. So yeah, and then I would also recommend it on Snow and Takamaru. Snow because he's a CP battery every single time you move him, and he still gives us a respectable amount. And Takamaru because he's actually a CP battery too, except it's on miss rather. And Ebisu because why not? He's also a CP battery. So
also Spirit to give him the chance at proccing his stupid heal.
Oh yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that pretty much is all my thoughts on this. Any comments, guys?
Good AR.
Yeah.
It's okay, I guess.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's nice that it's 3-star, so it's common, but it also sucks because 5 CP isn't that much. It helps, but it would be cooler if it were 10.
It's cool if you want to equip an AR on Lianan or don't have any other CP increasing AR.
Yeah.
For any other Baron.
It helps me a bit because it helps me patch up that last bit I needed for a 1-turn CS with Typhon, and now Lianan can actually contribute to that more.
Yeah, so it's pretty potent. CP batteries as well as flat damage units, they are a wide category, so keep an eye out for them. This is always a good card to have around. Alright, I will read the comments. Where were we? Ombre, I don't think I've changed. Wait for ARs. Imagine Nanyans.
That one.
Imagine Nanyans getting a weapon change AR. It would be decent for a start date, but otherwise it would just ruin the kits for most of them. So it'd be mind-boggling. Just
if you change it to blow, then there's no difference, right?
It depends. Let's see, because some of them still need to miss, but I guess I don't know. It'll be like a 3-star AR at that point. Why would I ever want to do that? I hate units when you move them. They change to none. So annoying. You mean just Orgus? Pretty much just Orgus.
It's not that bad. I think it's okay. It's 1 turn, and it kind of fits the whole gimmick of having versatile roles in a fight.
It's not that it fits it. It's that it forces it, which is fine. I think it's a forced restriction so that it would force you to play him in a particular playstyle. Same thing with Furufumi being able to be a charge spammer or a tank, but not both at the same time. Orgus can either be a defensive unit or an offensive unit, but not both at the same time. So pretty much. Spirit can use to activate after buff skill. Yeah, good call. Yeah. Even though I was talking about that, I forgot about that 3 seconds after. I like me apply CP on allies. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think this one is pretty decent for a 3. Yeah, that's why I was pretty excited to talk about these 3s. And I was, the 4, and I'm not going to say much about 4, but the 5 is also good, but the 3s are definitely interesting to talk about for this round. I think this one, there are 2 abilities with high proc rates, both CP and best buff in the entire game. Okay. Yes. Don't forget, Spirit is the best buff. If you don't have Spirit in your team, then you're not playing the game properly.
I'm glad it is 100% proc rate because they could have easily made it 50% because
No.
Yeah, that would be gross.
I think there's what's the anchor rate on that 1 3-star AR? I think it's 30% or 40%.
A bunch of the ARs have such trash, right?
They scale with dupes all the way to 100, but yeah, you're not gonna reach 100 with dupes anyways. I just realized that what Spirit does, for some reason I thought it gave CP. If only it gave CP. Hello.
It would actually be useful.
Give 800 CP per turn. Amazing. GAC Suzuka, yeah, she's a flat damage healer and all that jazz. No problem, Brian. The AR is gonna be perfect for Suzuka.
I don't know about perfect,
but it is,
there's...
not perfect, but for this card has a better effect on her than it would for other units.
Flat damage combo woman.
All right, I think that concludes all our thoughts for this. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let us move on to the next unit, which I'll be talking about also.
Wow.
Why did AR to translate this to Capture the Summer? It's obviously Seize the Summer. I don't understand. Whatever. Alright, so Seize the Summer is also quite a strong 3-star AR. Well, maybe not strong, but it's good. Unfortunately, it's not guaranteed at 50% to 100%. And after attacking, it can reduce CP at that rate, as well as give CP to self. And again, they're kind of like split into two different functionalities here. So you would want to equip them for different purposes. For the first one, CPU depletion, you'd pretty much just, there's a very large diversity of units you can equip on. The restriction is just water, right? So you can equip it to long slash units, thrust units, lower units, sniper units. Equip it to anyone.
Jiraiya.
No, in this case, I would not say stack it, because, unlike other cases where you give them that extra oomph matters, for reducing CP, it doesn't really matter oomph-wise. All you need to do is just reduce CP a bit, and then you deny their charge. And so pretty much just for this functionality, bring this card when you want to deny the charge of an enemy, but also just bring it, if you're bringing it for this, just make sure, charges are actually a threat to consider. So yeah, this would be a decent card for challenge quests. Unfortunately, it's not a guaranteed rate, so you're doing a bit of a gamble here. But yeah, it would be good for challenge quests in that sense. It's in that case, it could just equip to. It doesn't matter what the kit is, just equip it to anyone who has the range you need. So there is also the other functionality of being good for building your own CP, and that I say is really it's too CP. I wasn't gonna say good. 2 CP is abysmal. So
is it on average 1?
Yes, on average it's 1 CP because it's truly terrible CP wise for most cases, negligible if any effect. A lot of units will get their charge up in the same amount of turns whether you have this card up or not, just because that's there's other CP batteries in your team giving a lot more CP. That is noticeable in proportion to that. With that said, there are cases where it would be more useful, and that is when they have a larger spread. So essentially, just magic range units. Maybe white slash units, but primarily magic range units. And then the second question you want to ask yourself is their charge actually worth building? So in that case, I really would just boil it down to these 4 units. Maybe there's a bit more, arguably, but I'd say...
Leonard.
She can't equip it. Well, I mean, she can, but she's not gonna hit anyone. What the heck? She's not gonna. She's
I
not.
know.
What the heck?
It's completely.
She can drop CP.
And even if she
in the implied darkness at the same time.
And even if she could, it's not gonna make a difference because, like I said, it's so negligible that it's not gonna change her automatic 3-turn charge, because she gets 33 CP every turn, and that won't change how many turns they'll get your charge with just 2 CP every single time she gets a unit. It's just not.
Yeah.
So
also,
really,
it wouldn't even trigger on her CS, would it?
Yeah,
it wouldn't.
So it would actually be complete, just a stat stick.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Just weapon change the end.
No. Alright, forget Lian, and the one AR was one previous ago. Well, that's the only one you'll ever want to equip on her. For this one though, you'll want to equip these units that are magic range and that also have good charges. What's it called? Typhon's charge, I don't even need to say how obviously good it is. He has a whole bunch of CP to himself already, but other than that, he doesn't really have a way to build his CP. So he can get a whole bunch just by hitting units, a bunch of units in magic range. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, up to 10 units. Up to 5 units for 10 CP every single time. maybe 20 if you got combo, and unlikely, but you know, it adds up. And same thing for Aegir. His has his own oppression, but the thing is, he's very strong already with his brawn and his break advantage, and his ability to stall complements. Being able to alternate between break and oppression could help with that. And then there's regular Typhon for the same purpose, except he can push back as well. I know it's not a strategy a lot of people use, but I do like being able to push units back and to be able to hold them in place. And Typhon's a very good unit for being able to do that, along with Aegir. And also, I would say that Benten, it has a very strong charge too. It's only Dazzle, but we gotta remember she's an item exchange unit, so it would be worth building her charge for. So this is one of the cases where, you know, a person on the actual artwork would benefit well, and actually both of them benefit well from them. So yeah.
Does Typhon?
Well, yeah, regular Typhon. Like I said, this is mostly my own opinion. I do like being able to push and hold people in place, and that sounds degenerate for sure. But it's obviously gonna be very strong for banned Typhon, even if he disagree with regular Typhon.
I mean, I would just use the Dog's Battlefield instead for the fat turn start CP 15.
Yeah, but in case you need it to be for like prolonged battle phases, then this would be a decent AR with it. It's not supposed to be a game-changing AR, but it will have a significant effect, a notable effect for these units.
My opinion is that the CP on hit is worthless, and that the real duel is the CP minus, or CP depletion on hit. There you go.
Yeah,
I'd say that too, but
it's not guaranteed.
It's 50%.
Yeah.
You're not if you
The
really
thing is,
want...
if you're denying charge, you want it to work on that turn. If it fails, you're screwed, right? It's a charge you're trying to deny here, so it's good, but it's also risky.
Yeah, I think this is probably the worst AR of the bunch.
Just reroll.
It's pretty good. It's for a 3-star. That has a lot of functionality. It's just, you know, the downside is the rate on it makes it a lot something you don't want to really rely on as much.
Yeah.
But it exists, and I like that it exists.
It could be worse.
Yeah, it certainly could be. Any other lingering thoughts on this?
No.
Alright, let me read on the comments, and then I can relax because I have no more things I've assigned, and you can carry on with the rest. Let's see. Cease the summer. No, let the summer keep on going. More like seize the summer. I'm gonna pretend you didn't read that. OMG OMG, 1 CP up. It adds up, and especially for that range unit. So guys, go ahead and equip it and tell me how it works out for Typhon later. Here's the real question.
I don't have it.
You don't? Oh yeah, you didn't play first one.
I only got the CP, the Ebisu Benten AR.
Same. And I wasted an entire multi on that. Can you believe that shit? And it was like, the rest were 3-star off banner dupes. Fucking ridiculous.
I didn't.
Whatever. Here's the real question. Is this... Here's the real question. Is this AR another victim of good art equals bad utility? No, it is not. This is a good AR, only held back by its proc rates.
It's not bad utility, but...
Comparedly for a 3-star, it's quite versatile.
Yeah, the CP drain is good, but this is proc rate.
Yeah. Joey says, "Wow, I love me an all range level CP bonus." All range level CP bonus? No, you can't.
When you hit someone with all range, it gives you like 1 or 2 CP.
Sorry, but neither Alp nor Echo can equip it, so it's not gonna work.
Well, he means that having 1 CP on average is basically all range bonus, which is terrible.
Oh, right. That's an oddly specific thing to bring up. Got a pretty big brain. But yeah, guys. It adds up if you're magic range. If you're using blow, forget about it. And yeah, we're not gonna talk about Leannon's utility for this. Get it? Because all range attack goes, okay, thank you for explaining it. Go.
Yeah, told you.
Okay, I don't need you guys to spoon feed me things that I wrote on the wiki, okay? God damn it. Jesus Christ. It's like, you get, like, sometimes, it kind of, like, breaks me a bit when people, like, Oh, but did you know this? It's like, yes, I literally wrote it in Wiki. God damn it.
Did you know the formula? I can tell you.
I. Oh my god! Just reading the wiki history, and you'll see that I did it right at all. Ally 1 HP. I mean, honestly speaking, heal ally 1 HP AR would be pretty good if it was one receiving damage to adjacent allies. That's like revival right there. So it could be conditioning, but that's not an AR that exists yet. I hate the Brawn buff on the enemies. Well, yeah, any damage buff would suck on the enemy. They didn't even try to make them a variable. It's just for water units. How sad is this AR? That's good that it's not variable. That means that you have a lot of units to choose from for this one.
Well, actually, isn't water one of the lowest pools we have right now?
If it is, it's just gonna be like by 1 or 2 or 3 units. It's not too much. There's a huge diversity we can pick from.
I think it's pretty low in comparison, at least to wood.
I mean, at least it's not as restrictive as fucking the 5-star air blow and thrust only or something. The heck?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. Let's see. They didn't use Era, don't be rude to Evan. Was I rude? Sorry, but that's just how I do. Another attribute would be better. It could be any attribute. These are functionalities that's just general enough that could benefit any unit. I had to explain it because I knew you wouldn't get it. Alright, moving on. We shall now talk about this AR, which, even though you guys said this might... Well, Zalga said this might be the worst AR. Or was it Irby? I think it was Irby. I still would say this one is the worst AR. Oh, jeez. I mean, it has one neat thing about it, but we'll talk about it. So, Zalgas, please go ahead.
This one actually is an example of good art equals bad utility.
Yeah.
Berserk. So, this is not actually... It has the same name as the buff that Snow gets, which is Berserk plus Strengthening. It's just Berserk plus Strengthening he gets, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have Berserk, okay. But that would be funny if he could stat both. Anyway, so it's not the same buff. While Snow gets a big attack buff as well as the defense buff, this one actually only gets a defense buff that is slightly weaker. It's the 0.7x rather than 0.77x from Snow, which is negligible. But the important part is that it does not give the strength buff. So, where are my things? So, with that defense buff, Berserk goes from a 2.6 defense drop to a 1.8, which is, alright. It's still quite a big defense drop, but, you'll take what you can get. And Berserk Plus goes from 1.3 to 0.91, which is nice, because now Berserk Plus actually makes you tankier, if only slightly. So, I mean, that's cool and all, except it's... you shouldn't be letting Berserk units get hit anyway, and...
Yeah.
They're probably still going to die, because...
I think it's neat, at least for Valentine Gunzo, at least, because...
yeah, I actually listed who can use that.
Anyone who's a Forsaken and the Lovesick would benefit from this. Then there's a lot of Eastern Nazar units in both of them, incidentally.
The remove buff on self is actually probably the more generically useful part. Unfortunately, the base rate is shit. 40% shit.
Actually, wanted this AR to use on self to make him remove skill locks in case that happened.
ARs aren't affected by
40%. But 40% defensive.
Yeah, 40%. So yeah, the remove buff part is honestly more generally useful, but for the Berserk strengthening part, it's equivalent by Nether and Aether units, which is kind of weird because, well, to be honest, actually, Nether and Aether units are probably the more common units that have Berserk, and yeah. So the Nether units who have Berserk are Kenta, Vanilla Kenta, and Valentine's Tadatomo, and the Aether units who have Berserk are Asterius, Summer Ashigara, Valentine's Gunzo, and Kalki. So
check out the wiki for to confirm that yourself. Just look at the use skills for Berserk.
Not exactly an all-star lineup. It could also be used for anyone who is paired with Claude or Claude 5 or, God forbid, Gandalf. Do not
use Gandalf for the Berserk. Yes.
Well, also to scout Lipoka.
Yeah, him. It's really stupid for Fenrir because he's in the art, but he can't actually.
Yeah, don't go Fenrir.
He can't use the Berserk Strength in part, and he doesn't want to remove Bind.
It's mostly for.
It's
for Jambavan.
Yeah. So Nightmare Jambavan can Berserk plus himself when he gets hit. So now he is a bit tankier. Okay, and that's about it. Like the Berserk Strength in part is, since it's just a minor defense buff, which is on an uncommon buff anyway. It's not really that generically useful. The remove buff part is generically useful, but it's got a terrible rate of 40%. So yeah, not great.
You may want to use that eventually.
I wanted to use this on Christmas Kalki because he removes all debuffs at the start of the turn and also all buffs. But then if he gets skill locked, he gets to keep all his buffs, and he then can't clear all his buffs or debuffs. So I thought, wow, I can probably exploit this in a challenge quest or two by just equipping this AR, keeping the buffs that I gained from the previous turn before getting skill locked when attacking.
Are we already thinking of the cheesiest strategies?
And then remove the skill lock by moving him and having all the buffs right from the get-go. That was my plan, at least for this AR.
Well, good luck for re-rolling for that effect over and over again, I guess. That sounds like a lot of tested conditions to fulfill.
I mean, it's just the AR, mostly. And finding a quest with skill lock.
Yeah, that should happen eventually. So, this was something that should have been obvious, but this is also like video evidence for it too from Barrison. Apparently, when you remove debuff on move, this triggers before your own rolls for the base kit of on move skill effects. So that means if you remove debuff and if you move and that this AR activates and removes the debuff of skill lock or something, then your other on move effects from your base skill kit will actually activate as well. So,
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, so that's pretty
cool.
neat.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was pretty neat on Kalki.
Use this for remove debuff. There you go.
Yeah. So this essentially makes you kind of like a mini labor or something, being able to have pseudo immunity if you want to move anyways to bind and skill lock and the likes. But if you're feared, good luck with that. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Or if you have more than one debuff.
Oh yeah. Do we still not know how debuffs are decided?
No, we do not. You mean by order, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just random. No matter how much I look at it, I just don't see a pattern from it.
Yeah, nothing much to say about this. It's just the Berserks. It's like thematic for Nightmare Jambavan for some reason, but
yeah. Okay. I'm guessing no remaining thoughts from you either, Herbie.
Nah, they probably will add more Berserk buffer units. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe in the next event.
Maybe. I mean, it's like, honestly speaking, it's not even that amazing of a buff. It's just not even like a full-blown tenacity or something. It's just 0.7 reduction, and
it's an additional safeguard in case you're using Berserk. I think it's pretty neat to nullify some of that extra damage you would take from Berserk.
Yeah. Defense buff is nice, but it's just so rare.
Yeah,
also barely anyone actually gives Berserk these days. It's pretty much just
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, my final thoughts on this are just I pretend I do not see the Berserk strengthening part. Just use it for the remove debuff part, honestly. Yeah. So let's just continue to actually please read the comments before I go. Zaldis.
Only because you said please. I need the AR. I kind of wish I got it just for the art, but oh well. I'm not pulling anymore. The rare happy Fenrir. I got a whale. The art is cute. Let Jambavan sleep. No, needs to wake up.
Sleep deprivation. Fuck.
Everyone bullying Jambavan, even his own roommate. I need that AR for Suzuka. What, this one? It doesn't really have any particular synergy with her. I mean, remove debuff, but you know, anyone can want that. Nightmare Jambavan, love this. I don't mind if the AI is bad, I like it because of Fenrir. Also, the CS charge quote for this AI is oh, I haven't actually heard that yet. It's funny. I keep thinking Fenrir is aggressively barking at Jambavan. It kind of is.
Very much.
I wish I had Fenrir by using 2 long slash units. Okay. Yeah, I do not know how to pass that. The majority who now have Berserk Plus. I think this AR is good for units who have the skill who gives Berserk Plus, and after receiving damage like a Ceres 4-star. I mean, anyone who has Berserk Plus and Berserk can make use of it. So, do you know if that would? No, that's after receiving damage, isn't it? Berserk Plus. Darius.
Yes, it's after,
Yeah.
so it's not gonna apply.
Imagine if it was when receiving damage, so that if anyone hits him at all, they'll always get the defense drop.
No, I don't think any of those abilities from Ahab or any of these lovesick units or will ever receive Berserk in the same calculation as they receive damage.
I mean, the Beach Babe units used to.
Please read the rest.
Oh yeah.
So, what?
Someone's in my room.
Oh. Okay, Irby, go ahead.
I like the idea of using this on Samashigara, but aside from escaping out of binds, it's not fantastic. Yeah, that's pretty much the only use you'll have. I don't even believe that Samashigara needs to move at all, so it's probably not that great on it either. just for that berserk thingy.
Oh, right. There is one thing I want to say. There are obviously better units that can remove debuffs. So the only case you'd really want to use this for remove debuff is if the unit itself who removes debuffs or is like, you know, the one that is affected by a debuff. And I guess this would have pretty good synergy with someone like Tongrisnir because, you know, they have like immunity to being unable to move. But if they were actually unable to move, sorry, they would never have that effect. Actually, never mind. What the hell am I smoking? They wouldn't have the immunity either. God damn it.
He doesn't cleanse debuffs himself. So.
Yeah, never mind. Don't use this on Tongrisnir.
I'll be happy to have it, but not drawn to pull for it. Yeah, don't pull for it unless you really like the art.
Hello, I'm back.
Nightmare Jambavan.
Yeah, that's for the
yes, the variant from Jambavan from the
Nightmare 010 event.
Yeah, he has plus I think on Berserk.
Unfortunately, he's not really that great anyway, but yeah.
He has acceleration and FCP.
Yeah, he's like one of the few units who can actually control his CP gain, because he can, if he misses, he loses CP. If he hits, he gains CP. So
this card would also be good on regular Jambavan, I think. You know, instead of can equip it, obviously, because I think he removes debuffs to the unit in front of him, but not to himself. Is that right?
Yes, he removes a poison, I think.
From himself, but not an actual debuff. So in case he actually does become a skill lock or something, this is a good way to avoid that and continue supporting the frontline unit. So yeah.
But then you need to use regular Jambavan.
Oh wait, is he immune
why?
Is he immune to all poisons?
I think it's just.
I think it's just
Fatal?
2 of them.
Is he not immune to the bit?
Oh
He
yeah,
is
it is. Yeah.
LifeWonders, fix your fucking game. You can't just say fail poison stacks and then not make the units who are originally immune to fatal poison not even have that functional when that's the only relevant case fatal poison will come up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I was about to think of a meme strat I could have done if he were actually immune to all poisons, but oh well.
Alright, I think we are done talking about this unit, so we shall move on to the final, not unit, Akashic record. Irby, will you please take it away?
Alright, this is the 5-star AR. The 5-star AR basically is just saying flat damage memes meta is here.
Your
what it
dream's
does,
coming true.
Yes, what it does is deplete 2,500 HP to every unit it hits, and it scales up to 5,000 HP, which is actually really high. It's probably one of the best ARs to max because it's actually a really insane amount in comparison to other units that can deal flat damage. 5,000 HP is...
For reference, Corpicur is renowned as one of the best flat damage units, and he only does 3,000 HP reduction per unit hit.
It's for 1,000, I think. Because he also has that turn start.
Yeah, yes, that's true.
So even still, this AR gives even more HP reduction, and it also has this is also at all the effects on this TR at 100%. The only thing that scales is the amount of HP is drained, and this also pretty much makes units immune to being pushed back or pulled back. Basically, permanent anchor that cannot be removed. You cannot push, you cannot pull this unit that has this AR, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, it has the restriction of only being able to be used by the units on the card and blow and thrust units, but you can kind of circumvent that by equipping it on, for instance, Echo or Alp that can weapon change to all, and just start depleting HP on all range if you really want to do all range flat damage memes.
Now I want it.
The whole board.
Right.
You can also equip it on units with weapon change, like Hephaestus if you really want him to
magic range.
to deal flat damage on magic range, or
What a fucking cheater.
or Jiangxi Tetsuox, who also has weapon change to magic, which is pretty good. Or if you really want to keep it to the weapon restrictions, I guess you can equip it with Taro Mighty, which she also has Dark Lord's HP reduction, which can stack with the HP reduction from this AR if you really want that really high HP reduction. I think the Dark Lord skill drops it, but like 1,000 HP, or was it 2,000? I don't remember.
It's like 1,000, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's 1,000. So, I mean, you could try it. It's only thrust range, but it can stack. You can also be equipped by units that regularly don't deal a lot of damage, like for instance, the Oniwaka 5-star that has a really low attack stat. It can help him deal a bit more damage, even though you're probably going to use him to steal those attack buffs from the ally behind him. It can still be pretty useful to give him that extra damage that he does not have to finish the enemies off, because he just doesn't have that great of an attack stat, and attack buffs don't affect him as much as they should because of it. But yeah, this is actually a pretty good AR if you want to do flat damage memes, or even if you don't want to do flat damage memes, use it for the permanent anchor, which is really useful. I think the only units that have this right now are Triton, Dagon, and Valentine's Guillemot. I'm not sure if anyone else has it at this point, but yeah, I think it's pretty neat to have the ability to give this to all these units, because a lot of the challenge quests really have a lot of blowbacks skills, and that can really mess up your day, and this completely nullifies it.
Yeah, it would have been useful in the virtual summer memory quests with all the wrestlers.
Pretty much. and also the mermaids that pull you randomly.
Yeah. Do you want to go
That's
fast,
all.
Ara, or me? Ara?
Did Ara die?
Oh, sorry, I'm here. I forgot I have push
You
to talk
fall
mic.
asleep?
No, I didn't. I was listening. God damn it! Shut up.
Were you talking that whole time?
Yes, I was. Whatever. So yeah, I don't have too much to add. All I can say is, well, Irby actually was pretty spot on, and I completely missed the thing about Jiangxi, Tetsuox, and I face this because they're fucking cheaters. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I would just say Benten is also an option, just regular Benten for the magic range if you don't have those
Christmas
units.
Aegir.
Sorry, what? Christmas Aegir?
Yeah, you can equip it on Christmas Aegir.
He's
Yes,
short range.
I forgot to say that.
But the did Irby mention how since the flat damage is when attacking, it's basically just flat damage on top of the attack?
I didn't, but yeah, I should have.
Yeah, since it's when attacking, it can basically consider it like another spirit or the conflagration. I almost said ember, as in the 2,500 damage can actually contribute to the kill.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
So that's neat as well. But yeah, I think this is a great AR, and I wish I had it now because Irby said Alpen Echo can use it.
Yeah, I leveled Echo just because of it.
Have you tried it out?
Not yet, but I will.
I'm sure there'll be a CQ where you like just add combo. Oh yeah, another thing is that it's 100% proc rate at level 1, which is great.
Yeah, all the effects are 100%, which is neat.
This is why we can't have nice things for 3-star ARs.
Let's go 50% resist forced movement.
No.
Alright.
But yeah, good AR.
Mm-hmm. I'm in
Yeah.
consensus. Yeah, sorry, that's all my thoughts on it. I didn't give as much look as I did, so thank you for catching both the all-range units as well as the weapon changes. You are... I think Zelgus is done with his comments too, right?
Yeah, not much to say. It's fairly simple, but despite that, it's really good.
Alright, then go ahead, Irby. You can read out the comments. Unless you have anything else to add.
Nah, I don't have anything else to add. Other than, yeah, it's a good AR for units that you want to cheese with flat damage, and also for the anchor alone, it's already worth it having this AR because
Yeah.
it's a
There
really
are polls
powerful
all over the
effect.
place.
Yeah. Okay, let's read the comments. Oh, I have 4-star Jambavan. I keep forgetting I have him. I keep forgetting he exists.
You're right!
This kid's kind of whatever.
He actually, the thing is, he has a very strong heal, but the rest of his kit doesn't really let you use it that well. It's 1500 every single time he moves. That's pretty respectable.
Is it?
I think the
Yeah.
worst part is that it's only for one unit, so it's kind of
Yeah, but it's like the highest you can get on demand, really. And
Is he
they're
talking about regular or a nightmare?
regular.
regular. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's
then,
the single synergy units are fine by my books. There's been plenty of cases where they work out. So yeah, go ahead.
damn, Aegir's so big. Yes, he is.
That's size difference though.
The macro AR. I like the AR because
Nice.
the timing of the flat damage is when attacking. I feel like a lot of units that do flat damage can't actually kill. Yeah, a lot of units like Korpokur can't actually benefit from his flat damage because his flat damage is actually after attacking, so it doesn't actually count for the kill, which is a shame. Though that's kind of why I thought Soul was pretty weak, because they made it when attacking instead of after attacking for the flat damage. But then they released this AR just to say no, Soul is shit because we say is shit, and that's it. Combo buff plus this AR equipment. The combo flat damage meta. Let's go. Actually, that might not be a bad idea for all range flat damage memes. Especially if you have two units that can do that from the support.
Yeah, you would
Support
need.
Echo with its AR.
I wish I had one.
Use Ifrit. combo with Conflagration. Holy fucking shit. That's like a lot of damage.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but
I
then I
can
had
use-
to have him punch someone.
I can use.
That's worth the sacrifice, I think. It's 3,000 extra damage every time he hits.
It's
I
hard.
I can use 2 echoes, a Bam Seth, and Ifrit, and there we go.
That's ridiculous.
That's a blow right there.
Okay, let's see. So big up there, but not very impressive down below.
Actually, let's do the math for that. If we had 2 echoes, and they both had combo, and they both had this AR equipped, and there was conflagration up. What would that amount? Let's see. So that's 8. Let's say that the ARs are maxed because this is funny. So that's 8,000 per unit hit, and then you're hitting them each time twice. So that's 16,000, and then you have 2 echoes. So that'd be 32,000 HP. That'd be funny.
Yeah, it would be pretty funny.
And they could actually kill
I kind
it.
of want to try that. I hope someone with Echo actually does that, and with the AR too.
I would need to actually pull for the AR, but it's hard.
Actually got quite lucky with a few tickets. Crazy on how the AR banner with the most ARs of the character I don't like is the one I have the most luck with. It's always like that.
Ara didn't get lucky.
God damn it! It's always when I'm pulling for something, it doesn't work. But when I'm trying to do a yellow pull with a specific intention of mine, I'm saying, wouldn't it be funny if I got a rare unit and I could brang it in front of everyone else? That's when I got. That's when I get.
Crazy on how Niger, Aegir, or Benten are blow units. LMAO. Is this Housamo to Benten variant? Actually, it isn't, because Benten has another AR that has long slash restriction, and none of the units in that AR have long slash either.
Yeah, it
Well,
doesn't make
people
sense.
around that time going
Speculating about Benten
yeah.
long slash range for the
she's
variant.
weapon change, blow, and long slash.
Both weapon change long slash and blow regularly.
Wow.
That's the Benten variant.
I don't know how that would work at all.
Me neither, but LifeWonders will find a way.
I'm sure.
I think they just didn't want any units with good range to use this CR. Pretty
Yeah,
much,
that's
but
definitely it.
they didn't really think that the all range units actually had this small range, probably. So I don't think they thought that far into it, at least, or maybe it was intentional. I don't know. Oh yes, Christmas Sea Tree. Well, yes, Christmas Sea Tree can equip it, I guess, if you want him to deal some extra damage. Yo, Echo with this, I forgot. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought of using it with Alp, but I looked at this kit and I looked away.
You and Zalkus. Everyone just realizing how bad Alp's kit is now when they try to use all range beams now.
If his rates weren't so bad.
Yeah. I looked at that. Wow, he has Dazzle. And then looked at the rates. Maybe not.
Yeah, it would
Goodbye.
be useful. I would have liked having the dazzle if, it wasn't like, what was it, 40% rate or something.
Yeah, I think it's 30 actually. Or
Uh,
he has glints.
Yeah, he has
I think.
glint, so.
Yeah, so it's 40.
Uh,
Anchor
Oh, well.
with close range is good, I guess.
it's-
Yeah. I mean, if they have push.
I guess he can't. Yeah, I guess he can't be pushed back, so you could use it for that. But
Echo plus this AR plus she who will not be named plus Mobster, aka combo. I don't really think that attack buffs plus flat damage.
Echo's
I think the attack buffs would kind of just
Make it
Defeat
hard
the
to see.
purpose.
Yeah.
of the HP drop.
Echo's base damage is trash anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't deal a lot of damage.
Although I
Just-
have had luck having her punch out someone.
I think Erita needed to use Valenkenta and Leonard to make Echo deal some semblance of damage on the Tezcatlipoca quests. This AR art is so good. Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
all the AR arts are pretty good. I have the AR that has combo buff.
Yeah, that would be the one from Gendarme. The Takatsuchi one.
It can also be shooting stars.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, there is that one too.
Every time Ifrit CS locked himself, and he CS locked my units back when they hit him.
Yeah, it should be like very close to guaranteed for the enemy, and it is guaranteed if you fully skill level him. Although I'm not sure what you're talking about that in this particular situation, but yeah.
You guys
How
think they're
useless.
gonna make 2 ARs per character equipable? I know a few gacha games that have game mechanics similar to the AR system, and they
It's okay,
eventually add that feature.
He's talking about Regalia.
Yo,
No.
that would be cool though. And that would be a way to actually make the whole AR cost actually relevant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably the intention of the AR cost, to be honest.
Can their HUD even fit it?
We'll make it fit
Where will we even see them?
in our hearts.
In our hearts. It's the AR with Kagu and Nikotoshi, the one I had. Oh yeah, the Gendarme one.
But yes, I do think it would be neat to have 2 per, because in Regalia it was really useful. It opened up a lot of builds.
When you
so-
say it like that, it seems like almost natural at this point. Wow, can't believe
Yeah.
never even considered that.
Well, in that game, the problem is that having only one basically makes it so that there's only one thing that you ever want, because most characters just want damage, so you can't like afford to skimp out for something else. You know, except the battles were did so much damage, you wanted defense, and you know you had to sacrifice one for the other, and it just kind of killed diversity. But
I
having
think
2,
I think it's pretty cool because you could actually equip both the Kurogane attack boost AR and the shooting stars for means in the coin dungeon.
Shooting stars to penetrate, as well as the Kurogane to deal more damage. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Scaling damage as it goes, and like none of the baggage of having a charge later. All right, I think that pretty much covers all our thoughts for these skill evolutions. Is that right?
yes.
Pretty much.
Wow, we still went on for about 100 minutes.
Yeah, and I've been working on this for a while longer than that. So after this, I will actually probably take a very short nap. I promise you, it'll be a short nap, and then I'll continue the whole story with Unfurl the Sails. I'll start it then. So look forward to that, guys. So thank you for joining us today.
I still love that Aris face is covered.
Hey.
Also, it's mine and Herbie's, but
Just fitting in with you guys. See, it was all planned all this time. Yeah, thank you for joining us. You can find Irby's channel at Irby. This is your cue.
At the link in the description.
Okay, douchebags. And you can find Zalkus's channel at.
the link in the description.
You guys like whatever. Just I don't know. Just let me
Read
let
the
my YouTube.
description.
Yeah, pretty much. Read
Well,
the
I mean-
description. I'll always read the description.
I mean, with my one, you have to. Well, I guess I could just say go to my channel because now you can actually see it on the front. But yeah, just get the link in the description. It's easier.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you for joining us. Look forward to the thingy-bob, and we will see you guys next time. All right, everyone. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I forgot to read the comments. Whatever. Bye.